Welcome and a big thanks for joining us. I'm Bolt from Make and I'm excited to get into today's content. So whether you're a solo act in your e-commerce gig or the driving force behind a growing brand, the challenges are the same. We've got limited resources, tight deadlines, and we're juggling budgets. What we're about to uncover will show you how to leverage a suite of technologies for significant gains through the power of integration and automation during the retail high seasons. If you can go to the next slide, Alejandro. I'm just going to take a brief look at what we're going to cover today. We're going to go through the tailored roast story. I'll take you through that. We're going to go through personalized order management by Paperform, personalized email campaigns with MailerLite, customer support and delight by Help Scout, inventory management insights from Katana Cloud Inventory, integration and automation with Make by Flamingo. And to wrap things up, we're going to open the floor for a Q&A session. So if there's any burning questions that you guys have thought about during the session, please start thinking about them and we can get to those at the end if we don't answer some of them during the session. Now, I'm sure you've all heard the term a worker is only as good as their tools. Well, our tech partners involved are the real deal. These folks aren't just vendors, they're innovators whose platforms power some of the coolest projects our users at Make have crafted. And each one is integral to the story we're about to unfold. It's a tale of success brewed to perfection with the tools you're going to get to know today. We know this might all seem a bit daunting, especially if you're new to the game. So that's why we've also invited and included a service partner specializing in e-commerce. So you know there's always expert help at hand if you need it. Alejandro, if we can go, we're going to introduce the speakers today. So first up, we've got Connor. He's part of the Paperform team. They're all about crafting versatile forms that do more than just collect data. From registrations to surveys, and especially for e-commerce needs, Paperform brings a dynamic edge to form creation. Alex is from MailerLite. They're a powerhouse in email marketing. MailerLite isn't just about sending emails, it's a full suite for creating engaging newsletters, managing your growing subscriber list, and diving deep into campaign analytics to power your marketing strategies. Next, we've got Pallavi, who joins us from Help Scout, where they're redefining customer support. With their intuitive help desk, extensive knowledge base, and streamlined messaging tools, Help Scout transforms the way you connect with your customers. And let's face it, customer support is like one of the pillars of successful e-commerce. Then we've got Mark from Katana Cloud Inventory. Katana streamlines inventory and manufacturing for small to medium-sized businesses. And with Katana managing your stock and production, processes are going to become a breeze. Next, Alejandro. Running our stellar lineup, we've got Alistair from Flamingo. He's a Flamingo is a Make service partner specializing in e-commerce. And they're all about empowering your business, taking your tech stack and weaving it into a seamlessly automated operation. I'll simply be setting the stage for today's insights. So here we go. Next, Alejandro. Next slide, please. Together with the speakers I've just introduced, we're going to unpack 4 narratives. They're all part of a bigger picture featuring our very own make-believe brand, Tailored Roast, and their customer, Jane. We'll be tagging along on her shopping adventure to connect the dots between theory and practice and get your gears turning on how you might evolve your own e-commerce business. Next slide, Alejandro. So in an ideal world, we'd love to waltz you through our site and all the nifty backstage integrations live, but we've only got an hour. So we're keeping it to the essentials. This is going to be really about the highlights package. For the full experience, our ebook will give you the deep dive with comprehensive guides and detailed tutorials for everything we discussed today. So the way we think about Tailored Roast, it's not just a website, it's a suite of tools. It's a robust system. So we're going to dive into Tailored Roast, which is our case study for today. We get that automation might feel daunting, right? Often overshadowed by the drive to enhance customer experience and boost sales. But it shouldn't be an afterthought. Despite limited resources, integrations don't need to be sidelined. They're the key to maximizing efficiency, allowing you to focus on what's crucial. Tailored Roast is a coffee subscription service that personalizes offerings based on customer preferences. The goal is simple: make enjoying coffee easy and delightful for all, from beginners to connoisseurs. Tailored Roast uses automation to craft a seamless, customized experience with minimal manual effort. Next slide, please, Alejandro. So let's start by tracing Jane's experience with Tailored Roast, from discovery to delight. So Jane's browsing online. She finds Tailored Roast and is immediately drawn to a quiz that identifies her perfect coffee roast. She's thrilled to order a personalized subscription box filled with Peruvian coffee beans, made to order and delivered flawlessly. A welcome email not only confirms her order, but also offers a tempting first-time buyer discount. Jane's journey deepens with tailored emails from Tailored Roast, enriching her knowledge about Peruvian beans and brewing techniques, and nurturing her connection with the brand. These emails, timed perfectly, even include an exclusive offer, aligning with her preferences for Peruvian coffee. However, when Jane faces a shipping issue, she experiences Tailored Roast's exceptional customer service. Her issue is swiftly resolved thanks to efficient support, and she's quickly back to savoring her favorite coffee. So this seamless experience is a testament to the power of integrated technology in enhancing customer journeys, showcasing how every interaction point is thoughtfully connected to ensure satisfaction and engagement. Next slide, please, Alejandro. And now we're going to go through, now that we've explored Jane's experience, let's look at the system powering it. Tailored Roast success lies in crafting a complete customer journey. First, there's the interactive buying using Paperform's quiz. Jane gets a personalized shopping experience on Shopify, with Katana ensuring everything she selects is ready and shipped. Next, we have the smart nurturing kicks in. Based on the quiz data, Jane is added to the relevant email campaign. Mailer Lite serves as specialized emails to engage and encourage repeat purchases, right up to the targeted holiday season. For customer-centric support, Help Scout steps in. Should Jane hit any snags, Help Scout offers rapid assistance, supported by Paperform, Make, and Katana for detailed product info. Then there's efficient inventory management. Katana monitors stock levels in real time, with Make signaling when it's time to restock. Tying all these elements together is Make, seamlessly linking Paperform, Shopify, MailerLite, Help Scout, and Katana. This integration ensures Jane enjoys a smooth and cohesive experience with Tailored Roast from start to finish. Now that we've met Tailored Roast and Jane, let's see basically how all these tools help Jane and boost Tailored Roast's efficiency and sales. I'm going to hand over to Connor from Paperform, and he's going to take us through our first use case today, which is personalized order management. Over to you, Connor.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bolt. So our goal here, kind of as Bolt already mentioned, is to create these powerful, scalable e-commerce business models that are really accessible to everyone. So in this first example, I want to talk a little bit about personalization, the value of that, as well as just highlighting how much benefit you as a business can get out of a single customer interaction with your website. So this first use case starts with a product recommendation quiz that's created in Paperform. A potential Tailored Roast customer like Jane can use this to discover her coffee taste profile. And then this is going to dynamically create a personalized subscription box in Shopify. Meanwhile, her information is seamlessly going to make its way to MailerLite behind the scenes for personal segmented campaigns. And while all this is happening, Katana Cloud Inventory is dynamically checking and updating product stock, as well as communicating this information directly with Shopify just to make sure that everything that she's being offered is available in real time. So all of these things are, of course, automatically happening thanks to Make, and I'll go over some of the details of that later. For right now, let's take a glimpse at what this looks like from the customer's perspective. Awesome. Thank you, Alejandro. Okay, so this is the quiz. It runs off of Paperform's powerful calculation feature on the back end. So each answer that Jane is selecting here is going to add 1 point towards a particular taste profile. And then using our automatic conditional logic, the final page of this form is going to show some details about her recommended roast. So you can see right now behind the scenes, the customer wouldn't see this screen, but the Paperform calculation is running. Here's her customized recommendation. And then here she is in Shopify, thanks to that little call to action where she's already set up with a recommendation just for her. So just to show you a little bit of what's going on in the back end here, here we are in Paperform's dashboard where you can view results, right? So as soon as this form is submitted, it's going to trigger an entire automated workflow inside of Make. And info isn't just being sent to Shopify here, right? It's also headed to MailerLite. And so if we take a look, here we are now in the Tailored Roast MailerLite account. We can see that Jane exists as a subscriber. Her quiz results are being passed along as well, which is used to sort of personalize this email campaign. So in this case, we've created a specific segment for Central American coffee lovers, and you're added to this segment automatically depending on your results from the quiz. And here's Jane at the end, ready for that email campaign in the future that's just a touch more personal. So next slide, please. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so why does this all matter? Well, the obvious answer here is that a quiz like this is an effective lead generation tool, just because it's fun, right? It's personal. It gives people a reason to start engaging with your website, just kind of gets the ball rolling and removes a bit of that initial friction before making a potential sale. But this aspect of personalization actually adds quite a bit more than that. So for one thing, a personalized experience always improves customer retention and improves lifetime value. Like the holidays are this great opportunity for a huge boost in sales, right? But we all know that very often after that boost, they just drop off right away. The challenge here is to take that initial boost and keep lasting customers into the next year and beyond. So this personalization, this unique sort of relationship with a company that you're developing really goes a long way in that lifetime value. So we're already creating a quiz for that. And in doing so, you're building this unique customer profile, right? So why not use that for other stuff? Let's take that same information, use it for a targeted email campaign. And on top of that, just this personalization is actually boosting those initial sales, right? We've seen that product recommendations show at an 8% increase in conversion rates, initial conversion rates overall. And with all of these things together, we've heard of as much as a 40% increase in revenue just using personalization strategies like this alone. So at the end of the day, of course, you also need inventory management. Just automate it, make sure that it works every time, and use a set and forget solution like this. And that doesn't waste employee hours on, busy work and nonsense. It doesn't leave room for human error. And that's where Make comes in. So now if you could switch to the next slide, please. So speaking of automation, right, the other big bottom line here is creating these automated solutions that you can set and just forget about and be ensured that it works every time. Nice thing about using Make is that it doesn't only open up what you can accomplish, it also gives you this great sort of dashboard overhead view of everything without writing any code. It's all very drag and drop and clicking in menus, and it gives you the power to understand everything that's happening and have full control over it. So just to review what's going on here, with a setup like this in Make, you can start with an approachable, entertaining paper form quiz, dynamically redirect the customer to a personalized shopping cart in Shopify. All of this is already set up to communicate with Katana Cloud Inventory so that you know that they're being offered something that's available in real time. You can also send quiz results to Help Scout for an automated confirmation email. You can send results to MailerLite for personalized email lists. You can send this information everywhere you want, and you can, of course, customize this for your business. This is just tailored roast. And most importantly, all of this happens automatically when your customer visits your website without any manual work being done on your part or on your employee's part after that initial setup. So next slide, please. Great. Okay, so that's our first use case. And as we wrap up, let's just recap the core takeaways here. Firstly, integration drives customer experience. The synergy between Paperform, Shopify, Katana, Help Scout, MailerLite, this enhances the customer journey from the moment Jane discovered Taylor Roast through to her ongoing relationship with the brand. Secondly, personalization boosts sales, always. By utilizing a branded, powerful Paperform quiz, Jane has received this tailored coffee experience that not only delighted her, but also improved her likelihood to make repeat purchases. So this increases her lifetime value to Tailored Roast, of course. Thirdly, back-end efficiency is very important. This is where Make comes into play, serving as the linchpin that keeps all of the other platforms in sync and ensuring that operations run smoothly from start to finish. Fourth, we have operational efficiency. This is the real-time inventory management through Katana, which means that the recommendations made to the customer are always accurate, eliminating any friction, minimalizing those support hours, and most importantly, boosting confidence in the brand. And finally, perhaps most importantly, all of this is highly, highly adaptable. It's very scalable. It can change for any situation. So this isn't just a system that works in like the most ideal settings. This is robust enough to handle the increased pressures of high traffic events, like the holidays or any other temporary boost without breaking a sweat. So that sort of wraps up my section. Again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to pop those into the Q&A, and I'll be taking a look at those as soon as I'm done speaking here. In our next use case, we're going to explore how this system performs when serving hundreds or even thousands of Janes with their each unique coffee preferences. So from here, I'm going to pass it off to Alex from MailerLite. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Connor. So hey everyone, I'm Alex with MailerLite, and we're going to be showcasing how MailerLite takes that information from the Paperform quiz and then transforms that into powerful segments so we can enable a seamless yet automated and personal experience for both new and returning customers. Next slide. Then here we're going to be taking a high-level look, both behind the scenes and on the front end of what that might look like from the customer perspective. So thanks to the Paperform survey, we're able to create a rich customer profile with Jane's preferences built out in MailerLite, and then automatically segment this customer based on those preferences. And this is also going to initiate the automation process. So it'll allow her to receive an email sequence tailored just for her after placing her order. So thanks to Make, we're able to take what might otherwise be a really complex process of gathering Jane's preferences through a cumbersome back and forth process and inputting that data into her profile. Her experience instead is taking a fun quiz and placing her first order. For example, the first email that she might receive after purchasing is going to include more than just a thank you note. It's going to be filled with hand-picked suggestions that resonate with her taste because we have all of her information in her profile. After 1 week, she might receive another email, this time asking for feedback on her experience. And that email is not just going to show that you as a company care, but it's going to help make Jane's experience with the brand even more personal. It also provides an opportunity to go above and beyond her expectations. In practice, MailerLite's automation allows us to automatically segment subscribers based on their response. So if Jane gives a positive response, she'll get an email asking them to leave a review for a friend, and in return getting a discount. If she gives a negative one, she'll get a discount too, but here the messaging would be more empathetic. And then giving an invitation for her to reach out so we can improve her experience. All this is to say that segmentation is not just an email strategy. It's a commitment to grow alongside your customers through each interaction. Next slide. And now you might be wondering why it matters. Like, why wouldn't you just segment your list for your best sellers because you know what does really well? Well, behind every click, purchase, and opened email is a unique individual that has formed a relationship with your company through their purchase. And segmentation is about recognizing and respecting that uniqueness. So by the numbers, segmented campaigns don't just open, they engage with over 14% higher open rates. It is the gateway to a 6 times higher transaction rate, thanks to personalization within the email content. And the cherry on top, I mean, it leads to a staggering 760% revenue increase when using segmented emails. So all of that is to say that segmentation is not just a tactic, but it is an effective tool to actually boost conversions and sales. Next slide. So how does it all work? Make allows quizzes captured in paper form to be sent to MailerLite, where they become a part of a rich customer profile. And this is going to include information like their favorite flavors, how they like their coffee if they buy for themselves or guests, and much, much more. And these are always customizable to your company. As customers evolve, so do the segments. And so that's going to be intentionally refining the relevance of every email that gets sent out. So while the backend might be sophisticated, it's all serving to make every marketing move feel effortless and intuitive. Next slide. So as we wrap up, let's just reflect on some key takeaways. Segmentation is more than a strategy. It's a conversation and one that leads to lasting relationships and unmatched growth. If we look ahead, we're going to go ahead and move over to Help Scout and see how they are going to be poised to elevate the customer service to new heights. So it's ensuring that every support interaction is informed, responsive, and personal. That kind of wraps up my presentation here with MailerLite. And so feel free to add any questions into the Q&A, and I'll be taking a look at that here further. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to Help Scout.
Hey everyone, I'm Pallavi Singh from Help Scout. So this next use case is really all about bettering the customer experience. And we're going to do that. We're going to walk through how to use integrations to delight those customers and show you specifically how Jane from Tailored Roast does it when she comes across a return hiccup. So let's walk through what happens after Jane purchased her coffee beans. Next slide, please. So about a week later, she runs into an issue with her coffee beans. She has the wrong ones, and she decides to reach out to return it. She uses Tailored Roast contact us form, and it's powered by Paperform. She inputs all of her information, her order number, her email, and And you'll see that once it's submitted, it triggers a Help Scout conversation, as you can see in this workflow. So her return submission flows right into Tailored Roast's inbox in Help Scout for their support team to answer. Instantly, Jane gets an automated message reassuring her someone's going to get back to her shortly. And within Help Scout, since they have Shopify integrated, they can click right in and see what's going on with her order, so that the support team can have it super easy to reply and have like a really informed, thoughtful reply. So we'd like to think that Jane would have left this experience feeling like she was heard, her issues were easily resolved, and it's my belief that the businesses that are the most customer centric actually deliver the best personal and the most delightful experiences for their customers. And I'm sure every one of us here have had that, and it definitely creates a lasting impact. That's usually how the brand is super strengthened. It's usually by the consumers having a really great experience. So for the sake of this case study, and probably majority of the folks in the audience today, but Tailored Roast is hosted on Shopify, who we integrate with. And most of y'all listening will also integrate with other softwares too. And the app switch and the code switch is super real if you just have to keep toggling between your tech stack all day. And so by having Jane's past conversations in Help Scout, form submissions from Paperform, and all of the order data right in Shopify, both Tailored Roast support team and Jane have a really great experience. And super soon from Help Scout, for Shopify orders at least, you'll actually be able to return, cancel, refund, and see more order details right within the app sidebar. All of that is really important just for your support team to get the full picture and be able to quickly and thoughtfully reply to folks. So these simple integrations that we just mentioned, Paperform, Make, really allow any team member to jump in to the conversation to give the Janes of the world a really informed and accurate response. So yeah, why does it matter? I kind of touched on it, but if I asked by a raise of hands, how many people actually enjoy reaching out to customer support, I think we have our answer as to why it's so important we have a good, easy, seamless customer experience. There's a stat here about over 60% of customers would switch to a competitor after just one bad experience. I think we've all been there too when you've had a rough time with customer support, and you tell everybody, you tell your friends, your family, anyone who will listen how terrible it was, and you just are so unlikely to send any business that way. But always, but especially in the holiday season, it's really important to avoid wait times, really frustrating deflection tactics, any emails with jargon and ticket numbers, so that the customer feels like another human is taking care of them. Everybody has had that experience when some other person is genuinely replying to you rather than a bot, and you feel really hurt. So by making sure that your customers feel heard and like they're just being replied to by a human, you're also improving the relationship, the loyalty, and the retention. So just want to call out this little quote at the bottom there, but it's a quote by Paperform and Help Scout's mutual customer, Big Tickets, who is an event ticketing software. And so Will, their director of tickets, implemented both of our tools, and they were able to save tons of time by using a Paperform form and Help Scout's inbox to reply to hundreds of folks at a time when something happened with one of their events and they had to cancel it and refund everybody. So it's just a testament to making life easier for your support team with helpful integrations and having data right at their fingertips. You also make life easier for your customers too. Next slide, please. So just to quickly run through how Make is intertwined in here and what the thoughts all were. So we first start with Paperform's contact us form for Tailored Roast, and that's how Jane submits her return inquiry. That form then is triggered into our integration together to create a conversation in Help Scout filled with Jane's information from that form. We're also able to see all of her past form submissions and any conversations she might have had with us before too. And then the last bit is Tailored Roast Taylor Rose support team can leverage the customer data that we have in app to send back a really informed and accurate response. So we use Shopify, Paperform, and Make here, but definitely any other integrations that you use can be worked into this workflow as well. So this use case was a pretty quick foray into the world of customer support and how important that experience is for a customer. But I just want to recap 2 key takeaways and some 2 key tips before we move on to our last great case study with Katana Cloud Inventory. So the first couple things that I want to call out is that a good customer experience really starts with a customer-centric business. So especially during the holiday season, when someone is writing in to customer support, they're probably in some heightened state trying to make sure that their gifts arrive on time, they get their purchases to loved ones, and that they want to get their issues sorted pretty quickly and as efficiently as possible. So the tip here is that you as businesses want to make it easy for your support team to reply to your customers. I mentioned it a bit, but centralizing your customer data in app through integrations or enhancing everybody's experience by using tools like AI that are in Help Scout and most other SaaS tools nowadays, those are going to prioritize customer retention. The second and last couple things I want to call out, we have a built-in integration with Paperform, Shopify, Make, and around 100 other companies, but there are still hundreds of other companies that our customers and definitely folks in this room use that we don't natively integrate with yet. So we rely on the data connectors like Make to allow us to connect to those other companies like MailerLite or Katana Cloud that we wouldn't be able to otherwise since we don't have that built-in integration. So the tip here is don't sell your tools short or the tools that you use short if they have product gaps that can be filled with integrations, built in or not. You can put your product in so many more people's hands and offer a really comprehensive solution if you're able to leverage integrations. 9 times out of 10, it's a better experience for your customers to work in just one tool. And from Help Scout side, of course, we love when all of our features are maximized and used. But for now, we're probably not planning to build an inventory management system or be a form building tool. And for the folks that might want those things, we just want to be able to give the businesses the option to really choose their own path, choose their own tech stack. And those integrations allow for that flexibility so they can move faster. So that is all from Help Scout. I'm going to pass it over to Mark to walk us through the last case study on inventory management and reordering.
That was great, Pallavi. So Katana's cloud inventory platform covers the live inventory, production, and provides the reporting coverage that gives businesses the knowledge they need to make the right decisions. So behind the curtains, Katana Cloud Inventory keeps a close eye on all the inventory levels. So as high demand generated by the peak retail season, sales lower the stock of Peruvian beans, Make will trigger an automatic purchase order for more beans. And here is a closer look at how this all unfolds and how it helps Jane to run tailored roast. Next slide, please. So with the stock of Peruvian beans running low due to high demand, Make triggers an automatic purchase order based on the reorder point previously set by Taylor Roast and Katana. This reorder point ensures the uninterrupted availability of beans and helps to avoid stockouts. The purchase order manager can now proactively track delays within Katana to make sure they meet customer demand. Once a supplier delivers the ordered coffee beans to one of the Taylor Roast warehouse, the warehouse worker will receive the purchase order using a barcode scanner, then printing out internal barcode labels to provide full traceability across multiple warehouse locations for other team members working in Katana. During this time, the production manager can overview material availability and find the exact warehouse storage bin locations of the material in Katana. They can also prioritize the process according to stock levels and assign tasks to operators via the Katana shop floor app. Production managers and operators use the Katana shop floor app to attain precise task level management and receive live shop floor insights. This all allows Taylor Roast to continuously have the necessary products ready for order fulfillment. Taylor Roast enabled batch tracking in Katana And this assigns batches for all their products to gather precise oversights for all sold items. And why does this matter? So next slide, please. So Katana allows a brand to optimize inventory levels and manage all your sales channels with a cloud inventory software that tracks it all in real time. So assigning batches to coffee bags enables Taylor Roast to have precise oversight of their sold items and to facilitate speedy returns or recalls as necessary. To further simplify the process, Katana can auto-generate batch and internal barcodes. With Katana, Tailored Roast can handle multiple currencies, automatically converting the value of sales orders for precision tracking and analysis. And then using multi-location support, Jane can monitor stock levels across every location, access to stock data, and execute transfers between each of their warehouses. So connecting the dots. Katana Cloud Inventory keeps track of inventory levels and provides Taylor Roast with real-time inventory insights across all their locations, eliminating stockouts and overstocks before they can happen. Inventory is synced between Taylor Roast's Shopify store and Katana through a Katana Made integration. So as soon as an order is made on Shopify, the order data is pushed directly to Katana. Now, Katana notifies the Taylor Roast purchase order manager about low stock, and they now can easily generate a purchase order for the Peruvian beans and send purchase documents to suppliers right from Katana and proactively track delays to meet their customers' demand. When Jane's order is ready for shipping, Make will push this information from Katana to Taylor Roast shipping platform and update the sales order in Katana with a tracking number and URL. So this provides the Taylor Roast team with a complete overview of this order delivery. And then once this order is shipped, tracking info and order statuses are then updated in Katana. So in parallel, Taylor Roast accountants can keep their records and inventory balances accurate thanks to the smooth transfer of data between Katana and QuickBooks Online. The QuickBooks Online invoices are created and updated based on sales orders in Katana, and the PO or purchase order in Katana are now converted to QuickBooks Online bills through a simple click. So the key takeaways from all of this: Katana has enabled users to make informed decisions about their stock with centralized and accurate data. Our order management tools will now enable users to set reorder points and avoid stockouts while prioritizing manufacturing based on customer demands and product availability. And the shop floor app makes for an organized experience for your production teams, since their BOMs, bill of materials, or directions are very clearly organized. So by pairing Katana and Make, you can customize and automate the processes that are essential for your unique business needs. So now I'll pass this over to Alistair from Flowmondo, who is a Katana partner and e-commerce automation agency that help people like Katana users automate their digital processes between multiple software solutions.
Thank you, Mark, and everyone so far. Nice to be with you all. So what have we seen Make do in this story? We've seen Make enable Tailored Roast to develop their own unique operating system, made up by the best-in-class applications and centrally orchestrated according to their unique vision and logic. Whereas previously, companies sought out one massive ERP to rule them all, unfortunately, all those ERPs ended up doing normally was ruling their bank accounts. But now e-commerce companies have got new opportunities to work in a modular fashion, bringing your favorite apps to do certain jobs, and then to centrally orchestrate them with Make, which is the most flexible and intuitive integration platform that we know of. So now I'd like to briefly dive under the hood and talk about why we think Make is the best automation solution for e-commerce companies. Firstly, working with arrays and line items. As companies deal with, next slide, Alejandro, thanks. As companies dealing with raw materials, components, products, variants, listings, it's essential to select an integration platform that allows you to work flexibly with those data objects in their various relationships. The way that Make facilitates working with these kinds of data relationships in the visual canvas builder is unrivaled. As you see in the above automation, we built some custom logic on top of Katana's PO management features in what we call an external logic loop. That enables the business to automatically place a single purchase order, including all of the items required from that given supplier, meaning that merchants can optimize their ordering without needing to manually search for all the other items to include when raising that PO. and it could be further enhanced with more variables. So if you order from a supplier and you have special deals with them in terms of order quantities or good days and times to order, you can start bringing lots of variables to the game. And in Katana, it's all visually facilitated by the canvas builder, which really helps make the logic understandable. It's the next slide, Alejandro, thanks. Yeah, and then the one after. Secondly, Make enables fast change. And one thing that we know is inevitable in business is change. So you don't want to be spending hours perfecting your automation only for it to fail the moment you need to add new logic near the beginning. And unfortunately, in many other integration platforms, it's often the case that you must start from the beginning. So the flexibility to change things quickly in Make makes it a sustainable choice if you know that you're going to need to tweak and change in the future. And next slide, thanks. Furthermore, Make enables efficient data functions. So most people on the call will be familiar with spreadsheet functions. Well, in some integration platforms, you need to consume tasks in order to transform data between two systems. In Make, they offer you a menu of options to execute these calculations on the fly. So you don't consume any more resources to do those, to get your data in exactly the format that you need it. And the next slide. And Make facilitates easy troubleshooting. And I've also found that the visual canvas builder enables the optimization of your automations through that visual medium, but also the helpful data that make available. And this is often lacking in other tools. It makes troubleshooting, error handling, these kinds of things very, very difficult. And the next slide. And probably one that is our favorite as an automation agency is handling errors. So it's rare that an automation is going to work 100% of the time, since it relies on upstream and downstream systems to function, but sometimes things in those systems change. If you have multiple teams across multiple apps, and they all have their own way of doing things, and sometimes they're not on the same page in terms of making unified changes across the business, those systems can drop the connection. So you must build your integrations with errors in mind and have something to handle those errors. So some of the automations that you've seen in the animations may look complex, but that's because they can delegate tasks back to humans when they go wrong. And so the sign of a great automation is one that can handle the issues and then give it back to a human to deal with. Whereas a good automation might work some of the time, but not all the time. So error handling really is a fundamental consideration when selecting an integration platform. So for example, you could tell someone in your Slack if an automation broke, or you could build in a step into your automations where you could write the data into an Airtable record, for example, and have a button that will be preloaded to re-execute the automation. That kind of error handling is really cool and essential. And the next slide. So why does Make matter? Well, nothing is more frustrating for a customer or any human really than to repeat themselves. So it's a golden rule in data operations that when you get data once, it should never be recreated. That's the rule that we live by, and we evangelize that rule with our clients. So as you free your staff from copy and paste tasks, it turns out they like their work better. One of the most satisfying feelings for us is seeing smiles on faces when people see a Make scenario executing that is going to save them minutes and minutes of time each time. So one lockdown success direct-to-consumer e-commerce company that we worked with, the founder was spending 3.5 to 5 hours per night copying and pasting that day's orders into spreadsheets and then between spreadsheets to manage the next day's production. And we eliminated that within 1 week of development, so that founder could start seeing her kids again. So the impact is not just in the quantitative, it's in the qualitative as well. People just love delegating the transactional stuff to robots so that they can focus on things that are meaningful to them. And the scenario in this screen you see here, also this particular one now means that for this other client, who we're integrating with a pretty what we would refer to as an exotic EPOS system. We help them to build the most convoluted CSV you've ever seen, and now it means that they can take orders through their eBay listings and not have to worry about having to get through 80 or 90 of them on a Monday morning. So he knows going into 2024 that he's now able to begin scaling that sales channel. And just going back to the internal stakeholders again, just the idea of eliminating the copy and paste errors and allowing those teams to move on to more valuable things, which then means they can find more things that they would like to automate, and they continually move to value creating work. One quantitative number for you is that on average, our clients across most of their automations are seeing a 5 to 15 times return on investment. And it includes bringing more value out of any legacy tech tools that you have. Okay, next slide, thanks. One inspiring quote that we live by is that you systemize the predictable and you humanize the exceptional. That's the idea of delegating tasks that are best performed, such as copy and paste. You delegate those to systems, and then you allow your people to be freed up to work on creative initiatives. So a good rule of thumb that we go by is that number one, you buy the best-in-class software to fulfill key functions throughout your business, but then you blend them together. You integrate that tech stack and get that an operating system that fits you, that is unique to your vision and your logic. And then when there are still gaps, you can build with the latest suite of low-code tools, including Make, to fill those gaps that remain. And you can begin to have a singular system where data is never recreated. So what have we seen? We've seen Make working on top of Katana's fantastic purchase order management to add an external logic loop to further enhance the way that a business can apply its own logic there. We've seen Make piping data from Paperform into Help Scout into the other tools to enable every tool to be on the same page. And we've seen that same data. One of the benefits of connecting up your tech stack is you can start siphoning it off, and then you can start analyzing it and learning from it, and then you can drive insights, and you can help with insights into customer data and in your tools like MailerLite. So next slide. What now? We encourage you to automate one thing today. Just reflect on your operations, ask around, and we bet that you'll find one person whose daily tasks involve copying and pasting from one system to another. Just start with one use case. It doesn't have to be a big complex scenario to begin to pay you back time straight away. And you can check out tailoredroast.com for yourself. Have a play, submit some forms. We'll make sure that the scenarios stay on. And also in the follow-up to this webinar, you'll be getting some resources, and they'll in time be available from tailoredroast.com also. There's also some other goodies available from the partners there and exclusive offers. And if you have started or want to start, but you feel like you want some additional support, you can reach out to some of the Make partner ecosystem for assistance. You can get in touch with us, and we're happy to give you a complimentary extended consultation call to help you troubleshoot anything that you're facing.